Hi everyone, it's Kerry back with you today. So it's getting close to that time of the year, and those of you that know me know that I don't usually do seasonal crafting. It's not usually my jam, but Renee recently made this super cute Christmas kit, and I thought this kit was perfect for making some little gift tags for my Christmas gifts. So that's what I'm going to make today. I have already cut out some bits and pieces from the kit, and I have printed a couple of background pages. Now the background pages come full size like this. If you can see some weird lines on that paper there, that was my printer having a conniption because the yellow ink was jammed. So you can see those lines here. That won't be on your printout, but I'm going to go ahead and use them today because I will be altering these papers and you won't see that on my finished project. I've also got here these are like postage labels that I use. So these are leftover ones. I'm going to be using these to use them up, but you can just use regular paper. So the first thing I'm going to do is tear my page in half. And I've actually printed these on newsprint paper as well, so it's a much softer paper and it's already got a bit of a vintage cream tone to it. And then I've also got off to the side here some music paper scraps from my scrap box. Now I think what I want to do, I'm just going to check the size. So I'm just going to tear these down. Okay, so I've torn them both together, so I've got the two bits there, and I've got some music scraps here. So we'll just start with that. So I'm going to take one of these labels and I'm just going to turn it upside down so I don't have to glue all of my pages on. Now if there's a little bit in the middle that's missing, I'm not really worried about that just now. Now if you're using a larger piece of paper, you would be able to get more real estate. So I've only got the size of the label, but instead of cutting all this extra off, I could have used that on a normal piece of paper. So I shouldn't have actually cut this one in half just yet, but it won't matter. So now I'm just going to go in, and anywhere that there is little loose bits that didn't stick down to the sticker, I'm just going to use a bit of glue stick to adhere those down. Not this glue stick, it's a bit too gooey. Okay, so once I've got those glued down, I'm going to bring in a scrap paper, and I've just got some white gesso here. And I've got a small brayer, so I'm just going to pick up some of that paint on my brayer and then wipe an awful lot of it off. Let's do these two small ones first, and I'm just dragging in from the edges and then rotating the card. So I'm distressing or sort of whitewashing those backgrounds there. So I've got my 4 panels here and I want to add a little bit of Christmas bling. So I think what I will do is I've got some glue here. This is actually a fabric glue and it dries but leaves a very tacky residue after it's dry. So I'll just bring in another bit of scrap paper. And I'm just going to squirt a little bit of this glue out. So it doesn't matter what sort of glue you use as long as it dries with a tacky finish for this particular technique. So I'm just getting my palette knife and I'm dipping the blade edge of my palette knife in the glue. So I've just got a little bit of glue along this side and then I'm just going to sort of scrape it over the top, almost like I'm buttering toast, just here and there over the top. You don't want to put too much on, otherwise the technique will overpower the background. So it's best to have not enough and go back and do a bit more than to have too much. And then I'm just going to rotate those and spread whatever glue is on there out a little bit more. So you can probably see that shining there. And then again, I'll just dry this off. Okay, so these are actually dry now and you can see that glue is really quite tacky. I can just pick these up by touching them. So I'm going to bring in a piece of silver foil that you would use for like foiling with a laminator. And this is a piece that I have previously used. You can see there's bits missing in there and some of my paper is already stuck to it. If you're using a brand new piece, you need to be a little bit more careful about how much pressure you put down, because wherever this glue is sticky, it will peel off the foil from the other side of the plastic. And we don't really want big patches of silver. We just sort of want a bit of a distressed silver look. But because my paper has been used quite a bit, I'm not going to get like big blocks of silver anywhere. If once you've finished adding the silver, you've still got some tacky bits, you can brush a little bit of cornflour over the top and that'll help get rid of those. So you can see it just adds a little bit of bling here and there. Hopefully that's picking that up. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same on all of these. Okay, so I've got all of those with a little bit of bling on there now, and I'm just going to dust over with some cornflour. Okay, so these are not tacky anywhere anymore, and I also made some a little bit earlier using one of the different background papers, but I used the same method as before. These ones are a little bit smaller. So I think I want them on a bit of a more sturdy background. So before I decorate them, I'm just going to add them to a piece of chipboard. glue my pieces down, I think I want to add a little bit of cheesecloth in the background just for some texture. And then I think I want to pop my embellishments up on these little foam dots just to make it a little bit more dimensional. And I'm just going to add a little bit of glue to those as well. So there we go. In a pretty quick amount of time, I've got all of these lovely tags now that I can pop a little eyelet into the top of and a piece of string and hang it off my presents, or I could just simply pop some tape or glue onto the back and stick it onto the present. So I really had fun with this Christmas kit. Don't tell anyone because, like I said before, Christmas and seasonal stuff is generally not my jam, but I had a really good time playing with this. So thanks so much for joining me today. I'll see you again next time. Bye.